I know my people are there tonight.
They in here.
I knew they were going to come to
They are
this
in here today.
bonus coverage. They got the tickets late. We had a little raffle. See who all can show up. How many people show up. We still got a full house.
Still got a full house on a Wednesday.
Still got a full house on a Wednesday on a bonus material day.
It's bonus material.
This is bonus material.
Well, let me get a bowl of cereal.
Exactly. Coming to you live from the Sit Your Ass Down studios. This is me and D.
Pops and Son.
College Preview Show.
Let's go.
We switched it up on you. We got you. Got you on that. But before we get into our preview, which we're going to go through, tell you who the top teams were, and then tell you what the first round matchups look like. We got a little breaking news that we'd be remiss if we did not talk about.
Okay.
Coach Bill Belichick, winner of 6 titles in the NFL, is taking his talents not to South Beach. He's going to UNC, University of North Carolina, which they've had some nice teams under Mac Brown.
They've had some good seasons too as well. There's some recruits there now. I think there's going to be a lot more recruits coming there, knowing that Bill Belichick is going to be there.
He stands on business. It also, for me, it is almost like a FU to the NFL. Like, okay, so you all tried to block me from coaching. Maybe some folks don't want him to get the records. That's what, at the core of it, when I start thinking about it, okay, why wouldn't they want to Bill Belichick? Some of them don't want him to be the winningest coach of all time because of some of the scandals that they've had, Spygate, Deflategate.
And they might just not like the man.
And they just may not like him. And so,
it's politics.
Yep. So we'll just,
he's not one of ours.
We'll box him out. And he's like, you know what? I'll go do something else. And with the current climate of college football, you almost have a GM anyway who handles the NIL and the transfer portal. All he's got to do is coach.
Man,
I can hire I can get people to do my recruiting and do the grassroots stuff that being in his 70s may not be physically able to do on a full-time basis. But I think it's a good move. I like it. I like it for him.
Yeah, I think it's good. He'll build a program. That's one thing that you have to do is build an environment, but he'll bring a program. And then you'll see, saying they've had some good seasons. So
had some good talent. And there where Drake May came from, right?
Yep, Drake May, a lot of good talent that came out of there. But yeah, I think it's a good move. Shout out to Bill, because he knew at the end of the day, he knew he still wanted to be coaching, and he was like, well, if y'all won't let me up in the NFL, shoot, I'll go down to the college rankings, bring some recruits there, change the entire program around, and do what Nick Saban did, run it up. He got a chance to run it up for real.
Yeah, he does.
Get the right people.
Especially with, like we said, with the transfer portal, NIL money, there's no telling what you can do. The sky's the limit these days. You can quickly turn a program around, especially if you have some cachet to your name. You're a good coach, and you can attract other good coaches to do what you aren't really willing to do. So that's that breaking news. But now we're going to talk about the college football rankings and talk about the college playoffs. First of all, we'll go through 1 through 12, how it really shook out. And there's a couple teams that got boxed out in the mix. So number 1, no surprise, undefeated all season, was Oregon. And number 2, Georgia. They had two back-to-back overtime games that they prevailed. They lost their quarterback. The backup had to step up. If they did win, they beat Texas, and they jumped up to number 2. I'm wondering, D, because they would have been a 3-loss team, would they have gotten in just because it's strength of schedule? Because they did say this year, if you made it to your conference championship game, you would still qualify to make the tournament, because we saw that SMU end up losing to Clemson, and they're still both in the mix. Clemson was ranked number 16, but because of they did win their conference championship, that's what helped them get into the playoffs. But you think Georgia do you think they would have stayed true to that?
Yeah,
they would have been the only 3-loss team in the mix.
Right, it would have been pretty. I guess good thing they weren't in that predicament, because that's a tough call. Now, I think if they say they're going to do it, then they're going to do it. Now, did they deserve to? after 3 losses. Not for real. If you get 3, I guess in my opinion, if they would have got 3 losses, I wouldn't have been mad if they weren't in there. You got 3 losses. You gotta
Right. You didn't
you gotta
handle
have the
business.
record. You didn't handle business like you're supposed to. But if they would, I think if it was up to them, they could have kept them in there. But if they
Like
said
you
if you make
said,
it to
good
the
thing we didn't.
conference,
Right. We didn't have to find out.
we ain't have to find out.
And the other thing
We
too,
ain't gotta
and
worry about it.
note to self, if you're one of the teams that's going to be in the mix next year, you can't lose more than 2 games and expect to get into the college playoffs. You're going to have to put together some good teams. It's going to make the athletic director scrub that schedule. And if there's some games out of conference that look like they might be tough,
Ooh, it's a little tough.
you
a little
may
tight.
not take them. You may not take them. You may just go with, like, say, take a SEMO. We talked about
Right.
this
I
a little
mean,
bit on the Monday
Lindenwood
night wrap-up show. Play a lesser team and get that easy
had
win,
that. Yeah,
give them an easy paycheck and
get a
pad your
couple few
schedule,
wins. Yeah,
pad your wins. Yeah. So number 3, Texas didn't fall much. They only
not for
dropped
real.
1 spot down to number 3. Penn State came in at number 4. Notre
thought
Dame
Boise
number
was number-
5. I still think they're overrated.
I thought
And
Boise was number 3. You said Boise?
Hmm.
I thought Boise's number 3. You said Boise?
Now these are the actual rankings. So this is the actual
Oh.
rankings how
These are
they
actual
ranked
rankings.
them, and then because Boise
Oh.
won the championship,
That's
they
the
got that
seed.
they got
That's
that
just the
bye.
seed. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So they got that seed.
I got you.
So yeah, I'm giving you the rankings first, and then we'll
Oh,
double
okay.
back and give you the matchups.
Okay, cool.
All right. So number 5 was Notre Dame. Again, I thought they were overrated. Ohio State came in at number 6. Number 7 is Tennessee. 8 is Indiana. 9 is Boise State. 10 is SMU. And number 11 is Alabama. See, they were ranked 11th, but they had the 3 losses. So that's what kept them out. And then Arizona rounded it out at number 12. So that's one of the changes that I would make. It's whoever the top 12 teams are, that's who should get in to be in the playoffs. And then I would give a first round bye to only 2 teams if I were making changes. The top 2 teams get first round byes. Everyone else is playing that first weekend. And I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to stagger out some of these bowl games as well. But we'll go through the actual 12-team field now and show you how it turns out. So that first night, December the 20th, got a 8 Eastern game. You got Notre Dame hosting Indiana.
Out of the state.
And then the following day, you got 3 games starting at noon. You've got Penn State taking on SMU. And then you have Clemson traveling to Texas. And then Tennessee will take on Ohio State. So we'll stop right there. So the opening night on the 20th, Indiana, Notre Dame, who you got?
That's gonna be a tough one. I'll go Notre Dame because they got
I'm going
home
Notre
field
Dame
advantage.
as well.
Because they got home field advantage.
I wasn't impressed with what I saw with Indiana when they played Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. I think they could be. Yeah, I'll say Notre Dame will probably just be. We'll see though, because Notre Dame lost to
Northern Illinois.
Northern Illinois, so you never know what can happen. But I'll go Notre Dame with the home field advantage.
All right.
We'll go with
first
them.
game on that Saturday, the 21st, Penn State against SMU. Who you taking?
You could say Penn State. There's going to be an upset somewhere. That may not be.
I'm taking SMU.
I'll probably go SMU as well. I'm going to say upset factor.
Mm-hmm.
I could easily see Penn State winning, but I think as far as
it seems like Penn State never wins a big ball game.
That's what I'm saying. And when their back is against the ropes, they end up losing, and I can just see them fumbling this. So I'm gonna go SMU too. I'll go SMU as well.
All right, Clemson against Texas. I got Texas winning this.
I think Texas will handle business. I don't think
versus ACC.
I think Clemson is okay. They were definitely a lot better towards the end of the season, but I still got Texas.
But damn near lost to SMU.
Yeah.
Last minute field goal.
Texas is a good team. They just can't beat us.
There you go. And then you got Tennessee and Ohio State. I got a feeling that Tennessee's going to win this game.
I'm going to go Tennessee.
I'm going Tennessee.
Just based off of Ohio State has some good athletes, but so does Tennessee. Yeah, and I just that's it's gonna be in Ohio State.
Yeah, and that's one thing I do like about the playoffs.
See, hold on, that might
you can host They just lost to Michigan. And this is for Ryan Day's job, basically. They say he's got to go deep into the playoffs to save his
I'm trying to
future.
think of Tennessee in a cold environment.
They run the ball well, though.
That's a tough 8 versus 9. I'll go Tennessee. I'm gonna stay with Tennessee.
Stay with Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and so then we'll give you the breakdown. So the winner of Indiana Notre Dame, they will travel. They will take on Georgia.
Georgia.
That'll be a good game.
Yeah.
That's on January 1st. The winner of SMU and Penn State will take on Boise State in the Fiesta Bowl.
Okay, in the Fiesta.
The Georgia game was the All-State Sugar Bowl. And then, let's see, the winner of the Tennessee-Ohio State game will take on number 1 Oregon. That's going to be a tough one. And for whoever Oregon faces, that's going to be a tough matchup for them. And then the final, in the fourth or the next round, Arizona State will take on the winner of Clemson and Texas. So, and that's the Peach Bowl. And the thing I like about it, though, D, that they give them a week in between. So they'll be playing on the 20th and 21st. They don't play again to the 31st. So that week of Christmas, they're off. And then they're going to come back. Yeah, so you're giving teams time to heal in between. So you get
time to chill, time to
heal. Get a week to chill, get a week to basically prep for next game.
Get right.
And I'm liking this. No,
it is nice. I do like how they did it this year. This was what we've been waiting for. Now you can really get some mismatches. You can really get some upsets. And it's going to just be more entertaining as a whole as far as because it's a bracket. You know what I'm saying?
Seeing more teams.
I think as far as the collegiate March Madness, I think the reason why it's so popular is because the bracket. You fill out a bracket, you see the bracket, and you move on. It's the tournament style. So it makes it a little bit more. There's something on the line here. Of course, every game's on the line, but now you can actually see it.
Right.
But no, I like that they're doing this.
And then there's always the Cinderella team that catches everybody's attention and imagination.
Yeah, you get a chance of someone who's under the radar, who's not really, and then you get those storylines, like you just said, that Cinderella team. So you leave the door open for a lot more opportunity. And Colorado could have been in this mix. If they would have just finished out, we could have seen Colorado, and that would have made it.
They could have made it to their championship game. They'd have been there.
Yeah, that would have brought even more exposure to the playoffs.
Yep.
And if they would have went on a run, so that would have been pretty tight.
That would have been nice. One other change that I would make: no guarantees of being in the playoffs just because you made it to the conference championship game. If you're not 1 through 12, one of the top ranked teams, then you don't belong there. And I think that would clean up a lot of this confusion because, again, you're ranked 12th, or you're actually, Clemson is ranked 16th, but they got the 12th seed in the playoff.
Because they won the ACC championship?
Conference championship shouldn't factor that much into it unless they say it's 2 unbeatens or 2 one-loss teams, maybe something like that. But I feel that they're going to tweak it. You know, they're going to make it better. The one thing I don't want them to do, please don't expand it, though. Don't get so greedy. Let's just go with 12 teams for
12
right
good.
for the next
12 was
couple.
Good.
Yeah.
You kind of get a little too messy with the some teams are really not as good. They just didn't, you know what I'm saying? They might have be like might have had like 3 losses, but they didn't really play nobody. You know what I'm saying? You don't really want the bottom of the barrel teams. No offense.
I still say Boise State meets that criteria. I really don't think you can't tell me the Mountain West is as strong as the SEC.
No,
from top to bottom, week in and week out.
Right.
I'm not feeling it. I think Ole Miss should have been in the mix, and I still feel the way they were playing South Carolina should have been in the mix some kind of way. But hey, you got hot at the end, but you didn't sustain.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Let's go. So after the first round, we'll come back on and talk about how the games turned out, and then we'll preview those next round games. Thank you for listening to the bonus material, the Me and D,
Pops and Son,
college football playoff preview show.
For that ass.
For that ass.